Hi, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca on the Pinpoint 12 Forecast Center. You've clicked on the Weather Now link. We're taping this just before 10 o'clock in the evening. Give you an update, obviously, on Hurricane Dorian, some scattered showers and thunderstorms that will be moving through our area this evening. First, Dorian. Unfortunately, still looking at a powerful hurricane. The winds have come down from yesterday, but it is a Cat 4 storm with top winds of 140 miles per hour. It's just been sitting in one spot all day. Just horrific for the northwest part of the Bahamas, the Grand Bahama Island. And the eye has been pretty much in this general area all day long, just pounding this island. That includes Freeport, which is a popular tourist destination. Here is Florida. Now, the eye of the storm is expected to stay just offshore, but close enough to give the east side of Florida, at least the coastline, potential for some hurricane force winds, even though the eye itself expected to remain offshore. Latest advisory from the Hurricane Center has winds of 140. The movement is stationary, Category 4 storm. And that's the latest location in regards to the Florida Peninsula. We'll get back to Dorian in just a second. First, I want to show you the Doppler radar, and we are tracking another line of some showers and thunderstorms. Here's a wider view, and you can see it stretch from roughly northeast Connecticut, Hartford, Willimantic. This is tracking off to the east. So at this time, they're not severe, but some downpours. It's thunder, it's lightning. It's the reason why we're in a pinpoint weather alert. Give you a heads up. I mean, anytime you have lightning, we tend to go to pinpoint weather alert. So giving you a heads up that another round later on this evening, up until about, say, midnight, 1 in the morning, of some scattered showers and some thunderstorms. Here's the wider view. This is the cold front that'll be passing through, responsible for this last batch of some showers and thunder. Once that moves offshore, we've got some decent weather coming up on Tuesday. Here's the wider view of the satellite, and it shows Dorian. Well-defined eye. This is a high-resolution visible picture from late this afternoon. These particular images we only show during the daytime, and you can see the eye, which has been pretty much stalled. This is Grand Bahama right in here, Freeport, and the eye has just been pounding this area all day long. We'll switch over now to an infrared picture, what we use at night. Category 4 storm, and the track over the last several days, and that's the Florida Peninsula. The tropical storm force winds are in yellow, and that is just, and they extend out far from the center, and that's just kind of skirting the Florida coast right now. This orange and red is where you have your hurricane force winds, with the strongest winds confined to right in here. And there's a possibility that these hurricane force winds may clip this extreme east coast of Florida. That includes Georgia and up through North and South Carolina. Hurricane warning for the areas in red are north of Miami to Jacksonville, and then to the north of that in purple is a hurricane watch. Very impressive signature on the Doppler radar. The storm now is close enough so that it's within Doppler radar range. You see the pinwheel, the buzzsaw kind of shaped that spiral of tropical downpours, and the center of the storm right in here. These are called feeder bands, these thin lines. Watch, there's one. There's another one down here. They spiral out from the center of the storm, and every now and then these feeder bands come in towards the coast of Florida. They can sometimes produce spin-ups and tornadoes. So Florida clearly not out of the woods yet, even though the eye itself may not make landfall. The track keeps it just offshore, but certainly a concern for coastal Georgia, South and North Carolina by midweek on Wednesday, near Hatteras Thursday night as a Cat 2 storm, and then tracking well south and east of New England by Friday night. Now, the red line represents where the center of the storm will track, at least that's the forecast as of now, and it's well south and east of New England. So obviously good news there. But this yellow area represents the kind of the area of uncertainty. In other words, the center of the storm could track as far north as right in here, which would be our coastal waters, our south coast, or as far offshore as this. So we just kind of take the middle here. And even with a track, if this does pan out, we'll still get grays with some rain and wind along the coastline, big surf and waves, so it's not a direct hit from a hurricane, but some fringe effects. Now, this doesn't happen until Friday night. I mean, I would not write things off yet. I mean, you really want to watch this. Just a slight jog, just to the north may have a bigger impact, so still want to watch this closely, but that's the long-range forecast right now. And again, we're honing in on Friday evening, Friday night. This is one of our global models that we use, and it's indicating that while the storm passes offshore, you can see these bands of rain. In fact, some pretty heavy rain just offshore. So we think some very gusty wind along the south shore, especially the Cape, the islands, and the south coast getting the better chance of rain. You know, the further north you go, there's less wind and there's no rain at all. So it's really right down in here. And all it would take is just a shift 100, 150 miles further to the north to increase the wind and rain even more. So again, watching that closely. No surprise, these colors on the map represent wave heights. And look at these building waves offshore. This is a lot of wave energy, this area in red. So the swells are going to come on shore, some big surf, some rip currents and things like that. So I'd imagine by late week, the waters do become agitated with large surf, dangerous rip currents, and some big swells offshore. Even when these storms are many, many miles offshore, the wave propagation can travel hundreds of miles towards the coastline. All right, for tomorrow morning, rain and thunder's gone. Waking up to some sunshine or developing sunshine. Looking at temperatures starting off in the upper 60s, and Tuesday afternoon is actually a decent day. Sunny skies, upper 70s, so we would call that seasonably warm. So wrapping it up, some scattered showers and thunderstorms for a few more hours now till about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. There's some decent weather coming up on Tuesday. Watching Dorian, obviously high risk and a big impact as far as Florida, Georgia, South and North Carolina now through Wednesday and Thursday. Early call has the storm actually passing well offshore of New England, but perhaps close enough for some rain and wind, not hurricane wind, but some rain and wind for the south coast, the Cape, and the islands, and still want to watch it. We're talking something that's still 4 or 5 days out. A little shift in the track, a little closer to our coastline would mean a little more in the way of rain and wind, so you know the drill. Stay tuned to further updates. In the meantime, that's your latest Weather Now update. Thanks for logging in, and we'll talk to you soon.